Hello, and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News Channel. Today we're going to talk about a rumor. The people over at Poloniex think Justin Sun is the head of a group of people that are trying to acquire Poloniex, and that's why it spun off of Circle. Now, just to give you a little bit of background on the thing, Circle bought Poloniex in 2018, early 2018, for about $400 million. So if someone is trying to acquire acquire Poloniex from Circle, they would have to fork over, I think, substantially more than $400 million, or at least $500 million to get to pry Poloniex away from Circle. For me, like last time I heard, Circle actually had a lot of ideas and developmental ideas for Poloniex, but the excuse that Poloniex basically gave this time is that it was too compliant heavy, and Poloniex and Circle was actually impeding Polonex's expansion into international markets because it had to apply to all U.S. regulations. However, since Poloniex is spinning off from Circle, it's not going to play by those rules, and it's actually just going to ditch its American customers. Trading on Poloniex for U.S. customers stops, I think, November 1st, and you have to get all your cryptocurrencies, if you're a U.S. customer, off of Poloniex by December 15th. If you don't, I'm going to guess bad things will happen to your coins. So get it off Poloniex by December 15th. Now, the insiders are saying Justin Sun is behind this takeover. I'm a little bit skeptical because Justin Sun actually himself tweeted that he is not buying anything. Of course, Justin Sun lies. We all know that. But, you know, the way he lies is usually different. He usually tries to exaggerate things. He doesn't like, if he's going to do something big, he's not like, I'm not going to do anything big. He's like, if he's going to do something semi-big, he's like, I'm going to do something super big. So big, you won't be able to comprehend how big it is. Like, if he was buying Poloniex, I don't think, it's not like him to say, I'm not buying Poloniex. It'd be like him to say, I'm buying Poloniex and Bittrex and Coinbase and Binance and everything else. I mean, based on his previous personality, unless he's done a 180 shift in personality, he would be shouting it from the rooftops, not denying it. Of course, the Chinese government may not like that and may want him to go incognito on these things. So that is always a possibility. But it's kind of unlike Justin Sun unless the government's got him handcuffed, which is a distinct possibility because he did actually have to apologize to the Chinese government earlier. But I find this rumor kind of interesting because we know that CZ actually froze all the TRON on Binance and automatically became TRON's biggest validator. And there were definitely some questionable things going on there about how CZ basically froze other people's TRON to make himself the biggest validator. And now I don't really know why Justin Sun would actually buy Poloniex or where he plans to get the money. I mean, I know he has a lot of money, but $500 million is a lot of money. However, he is just leading kind of a consortium to buy Poloniex, which means he himself only has to put up part of the money. But why would Justin Sun actually want to buy Poloniex, especially if it's not going to be US compliant anymore? Remember, one of the things that Justin Sun was working on was getting TRON on a US compliant exchange. And since Poloniex is leaving the US market because it's spinning off from Circle, that would defeat one of the biggest purposes that Justin Sun would have buying Poloniex. And it is a lot of money to spend on Poloniex. I mean, I suppose that if he wanted to make like TRON the official currency of Poloniex or something, I could see that, but that seems honestly a little bit far-fetched. Although with Justin Sun, I really wouldn't count it out. And I just wonder like why he would actually want to buy Poloniex. I suppose he could use Polonex's influence to actually pump TRON, because TRON has been suffering lately in terms of price. I mean, TRON is one of the few coins that's actually down since the beginning of the year, along with VeChain and XRP. They're like three of the few coins that are actually down from their beginning of the year price. So he could actually use something like Poloniex to actually pump TRON. But I think that would be a little too obvious, wouldn't it? I mean, you acquire an exchange, and I think if his group acquires it, it's going to be known, and then Trump pumps immediately afterwards and drops afterwards. I think that would invite more regulatory scrutiny on Justin Sun. So him spending like hundreds of millions of dollars to buy Poloniex, since Poloniex is actually not going to be US compliant and will not get TRON into the US, seems like kind of a stretch. But they are insiders that are saying Justin Sun is going to buy Poloniex. I mean, he could just be using the proceeds of TRON to actually acquire as many assets as possible to boost up his own company and his own wealth. That's always possible. And like all the stuff him and CZ are doing could be some big scheme to actually just make themselves really rich. I'm sure that's actually part of it, but I haven't heard any confirmations from any real news sources that Justin Sun is behind the Poloniex. Is behind like buying Poloniex, but I could be wrong. I think there's always a chance that he is leading the group to buy Poloniex, but he himself has denied it, although he's not that credible himself. But it does go against the Justin Sun thing, Justin Sun way of over promoting things. So I'm skeptical. It was reported by CNBC Africa that Justin Sun was buying Poloniex. I'm not really sure how credible CNBC Africa actually is. But I would be a little bit surprised if Justin Sun actually bought Poloniex, because I don't see a specific reason, besides like enriching himself, which is not a bad reason, obviously, that he would actually buy Poloniex, because it doesn't really fit any of TRON or BitTorrent's agenda. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe, and join me on my daily streams. Thank you, and have a nice day.